Soundtrack Saturday. Welcome, goddammit. Welcome. This film comes out year 1999. It's called Any Given Sunday. It's kind of based on the 1984 novel On Any Given Sunday. It was written by a man named Pat Toomey, who was he was a former defensive end. Screenwriters Oliver Stone and John Logan, they started to go to work on creating this script. Directed by Oliver Stone. Very star-studded cast here. Top dog being Al Pacino, Cameron Diaz, Dennis Quaid, Jamie Foxx, James Woods, LL Cool J, also Lawrence Taylor, and a bunch of other NFL players is in this movie. So it's about this team in Miami. They're like a professional team. They used to dominate, but then they've been hitting a rough spot as a team and as an organization. A lot of things changed. Dennis Quaid, who plays the veteran quarterback, who's kind of failing in health, but he's still trying to keep the train rolling. Al Pacino, he plays the head coach, and Cameron Diaz, she's the owner's daughter, who's pretty much taken over the team now since her father had passed. And then Jamie Foxx, he plays this, trailblazing kind of Michael Vick new quarterback who's really trying to push Quaid's character out of the door. I think this is a very real look at how NFL players live their life. It's got the flash of the lifestyle, and then you deal with the drug use is heavy in here, the parties, the mental even abuse that a lot of these guys go through, and definitely the physical abuse on the field. It's a bit of a darker, deeper story here. Peeks the curtain back on even how the media deals with the players and how much influence they have on players' decisions. They released this soundtrack under Atlantic Records.
I was there when no one knew your name. I was there when you blew up, got launched, and had all the fame. Now look how you do. I was there when everything had changed. You think you the shit, big star on top of your game. Who you gonna call when nothing's right? Who you call when your ass go broke? Who you call when you ain't got no friends hanging with you? And you ain't that high no more. Now who you gonna call?
Missy Misdemeanor. First of all, they gave her a beat that does not work. This beat sounds like it should have been on that Save the Last Dance project. It's like an opera, hip-hoppy beat, which is super weird. I don't like these fusions. Missy can sing. She has a beautiful voice, but it ain't not here. Not here, no. And she couldn't really fix this record. It's bad from the beginning.
Yeah, my niggas get locked up, and when they come home, it's me, Coach and Chris down. Just ask the Cole, play the game like Boston, Oliver Stone flicks, based on a true story. The story, and all of my niggas fuck for me. The projects love me. It feel good to have love in the hood. And I ain't got to buy weed, my credit is good. Machine gun lyrics, seeing live spirits, Google weed and dreads. With my heads, gotta listen to this before they piss in their beds.
These beats are just terrible so far. Two shitty beats. Capone and Noriega. I never dug into the group that heavy. I caught Nori more once he went kind of solo with it. So them together, I don't know a whole lot of records of them together. Their rhymes is cool. Nori come in on his gangster shit, and they got a cool little back and forth, but it's just a horrible beat. It's hard to stomach this track because the beat is so bad. It's a little bit of that early Swiss sound with the drums, but it ain't how Swiss do it. It ain't got the sauce.
Thomas Benedict, having can't handle with cats. Only knew all the shit I've been through. Homicide, suicide, and losing my mind, just standing my ground, keep it bottled up inside. Facts is what I preached and ride for my loved ones. Asked about my life, no doubt that a tough one. Did dirt, got dirt, shit only got worse. Been ass God, why you put me on the circle? Yo, not for nothing done, I want it all. Can you blame me? Niggas just be settling for crumbs. How dumb, how come? With no outcome.
This is just fucking buffet of shitty beats to start this joint. It's the better of the other songs that I've heard so far as beat wise, and I'd say rhyme wise too, just because them niggas, Mobb Deep speak the streets so well. I give it to them niggas on the bars a little bit, but once again, just stuff tough to stomach. because the beat don't really influence nothing.
The rich boy got it bad cause he gets rich. The poor boy got it bad cause he gets poor. The bad boy got it bad cause he gon' roll. The good girl got it good cause she got game. And runs it on undeveloped fellas consider lame. Same like mechanics do it. Baby who needs help you quick. Repair don't have no knowledge of what to break you with. Make who with turn to nickel. Squirm and tickle. You wiggle. Turn your emotions like a deal pickle.
South got something to say. It took these motherfucking AT aliens to come in here and fucking raise the level of this soundtrack, cause these New York niggas dropped the ball. Got the Goody Mob featuring Outkast. Wonderful song. I never heard this too, but it's got that classic like tempo that them organized boys be cooking up. You can hear Andre 3000's influence all over this. This is like a precursor to some of the shit he started branching out doing. I really enjoy this record. The whole mob stepped up. It goes good. You know, they call it Soul Sunday. So it's all about just the hype of the Sunday, goes with the movie. So this works. LL killed this motherfucking record, bro. He was in the movie. He played the running back in it, so he pops up throughout. This was like the time that he was starting to make that like themed movie music, because this feels like a big record. You know, he's spitting real subtle, like he the Yin Yang Twins. You know what I mean? He whispering the shit. Always find a way to like switch his flow up. So he was not spitting this fast. You know what I mean? But L can give you that tongue twister shit.
Okay, what's up? Okay, okay, what's up? My brand new 99 photo, Robo. I got a pocket full of bees, but we ain't got no place to go, though. But all my Brooklyn boys, they know, though. That's for sure, though.
Are those beautiful jeans you're wearing?
Yeah, nah, oh, you know they don't know.
They heavily relied on the South to bring this project some tempo, which was smart. Trick Daddy Dollars, man. You know what I mean? He bringing Trina along, a couple of his other hood friends. Turned this motherfucker up. This is a catchy ass song. I remember it from being a kid too. Even the West Coast niggas had to give it up for a song like this. It's an anthem. That dun, 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 dun. It's like the college, them Southern colleges come to mind when you hear those type of bass lines and shit. All those bands. You call Trick, you know what you getting. Some turned up shit. And this was a hit. This was all over the radio.
Haters try to stop my flow, sometimes some facts. What's next? Counted by the press. Mass stress on my chest. Of course I know that I'm blessed, but here's the test. On any given Sunday, I gotta play my best. Sacrifice, don't give up the time. Everything will be alright. Only together all the niggas, yeah.
So I do remember this record, but I didn't remember that it was Guru rapping the first two verses on this joint. I know that Common came in, and I really just feel like, you know, Guru's verse is not his best. This really not his style to shoot him some bail. This type of beat, this slow pacing shit, smooth jazzy shit. He could do jazzy shit, but this, like, it's something about the drums on here that don't sit right with Guru. But Common, Common come in and clear that shit up. And Jamie Foxx did his thing on that hook. And he wasn't even fully out yet. I think he had just came out with an album that nobody listened to. But when he hopped on this, people was like, oh yeah, okay, Jamie could do it. Also another person who was in the movie. POD, it's a Christian rock hip hop band out of San Diego. Definitely never heard of these guys. But I ain't gonna hold you, they rocking. They rock. Once they get in they fold, the rhymes, you know, they a little different. He kind of kicking it like a rock, like he doing some punk rock rap. What it remind me of is this point in the movie where You know, you had the hip hop heads on the team, and then you had the white boys who was into the rock, and they was in the fucking locker room like having like a musical battle of whose shit was better. So to hear this record, it actually makes sense with the movie. I remember this joint, Kid Rock, and Kid Rock don't sleep, bro. He started off completely hip hop, but he always had the rock influence with him. But he was like considered a hip hop artist. The way they be using that fucking electric guitar as drums on this motherfucker is special. Um, and then the energy of this joint, it's like fuck that, fuck everything when you hear this. You know what I mean? It's like you really adopt that energy. I actually really like this song too. Forgot about it. Completely forgot about this joint. And I think it was used, I don't know, it feels like it was used in other places too. I know it was in the movie, but I think like some wrestlers used it. I mean, he produced this whole track, so he could just play probably, you know, so many instruments. And I never really equate him with that, but he definitely can get down. I never been to a Kid Rock show or seen a performance by him. Damn, I mean, when this shit started, it just sounded like a bunch of noise. I was like, what the fuck? And then I finally found like where they was trying to go with it. But this joint, Hole, I never heard of Hole. Some alternative rock band out of Cali. They just dropped me off at a fucking goth punk rock concert now with a bunch of with some. It just seemed like a place that got glory holes and fucking. I don't know about Hole. I guess I would have to hear some other shit. I don't like the way they kicking it.
My niggas, the niggas just barely do or die. My niggas, for have you cowards ready to cry? My niggas, cry. My niggas, will rob. My niggas, keep niggas on their fucking job. My niggas, know where this like when shit getting hard. My niggas, stay pulling you up in niggas' cars. My niggas, God. My niggas, shine. My niggas, just do it doesn't matter the time. My niggas, let me know to keep fucking with the rhymes. My niggas, ain't no longer living with crime. My niggas, it's fine. My niggas, it's good. My niggas.
Yeah, my nigga X with the my niggas. This joint, and it slap at the right time in the movie. And this is like, it's not even a long song. It's just literally like a minute of him just kicking this flow right here. You just get cheated on this. You want more of a song, you know. But I literally think he just made this. You know, Oliver Stone probably told that nigga, get in the booth for me, X, and just give me some amp shit that I can cut through. Swiss on the beat. Obviously, he did his thing. But this when the Neptunes was kind of spreading that sound around. You know, Nori had just did it, so you know, I don't even know if Nori had gotten to. No, I think Nori was getting to it. You know, at the same time as a Mystical at this point. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who could. And Mystical, man, you know, he was just on the last fucking show. He pops up on these soundtracks around this time. Yeah, once he get into that second verse, he get to talk some crazy shit. He's like, that's the Mystical I know. Nobody can have a verse like nobody has a verse like Mystical, bro. The transit, the way he jump around, it kind of do remind me of how these young kids are doing it. Except these young kids will jump off and sing. They'll like switch it up and sing on you. Mystical will just yell and growl at you like.
break 'em down, put them on, shake 'em down, pat 'em down, put the gun, cat 'em down. Tie 'em off, strike a match, strike 'em off, then fry 'em off, till his body cut the dust.
So this is the genius of Swizz Beatz, man. The way he created this beat, it actually makes you move. The way it starts, the transition, it is like pushing you to move. It's almost showing you the creation of the beat within it. And then he's got so many transitions and things he's adding, elements he's adding to the beat as it goes. It catch you in the groove. It definitely do. And then he brought his roster along. You know, Rough Rider, he had a little roster. You know, he had X, he had Eve, Drag On, a few other people coming up in the underbelly of it. So he was like churning out some legit stars. And this is just kind of showing you his genius. You ain't heard no beat like that. And that's why you had to pay attention to a Swizz. Nasty little bass line that then came up right up in there with something that's got to kind of grow on me. But again, if I hear this in the live setting, I'd feel a little different than just being here at the house. It's so musical. It's so much going on instrument wise. You know what I mean? You really have to listen to this, you know, live to really get the full brunt of it. Godsmack. I never heard of this band. It's a rock band out of Massachusetts. I'm sure everybody out there probably know about them. So this is a English DJ producer. You know, he did a lot of like work for Need for Speed and Blade, and, you know, Gran Turismo. He creates those like vortex beats. You know, very much in the techno world, but really got a lot of hip hop influence on this shit. I hear the hip hop in this. You know what I mean? It definitely is there, especially with the drums. If I'm playing Need for Speed and this shit going, I'm in the zone, nigga. You know, the New York on this album ain't really show up. The up north ain't really do it. It took the down south niggas to come in and bring this joint some flavor. And then you get a rock influence, which makes sense in the movie, just the mixing of cultures. So it does reflect the movie actually really well, tempo-wise. Get a lot of Swizz on there and him flexing the Rough Riders throughout this joint. I say the movie is definitely better. I definitely say watch the movie. You can miss this soundtrack and be all right. So that's it, man. For Soundtrack Saturday, y'all have a good one. Be safe, be easy, breezy. Enjoy the weekend. And I get up with you.